Hello everybody. Welcome back to my channel. More stories and other random things take center stage. Happy Saturday. I hope you guys are having a wonderful morning and will continue to have a fantastic rest of your day. Um, Welcome to today's video and Blind Woman Recommends. So last week I reviewed Maidens in Your Savage Season, linked below, which I enjoyed a lot. And because of the lack of source material, according to some Google searches I did, it's not certain that there will be a season 2. It's actually very much unlikely. I honestly think that by the ending, it seems unlikely. I found no trace of a possibility of a season 2. So what I am doing now is I'm going to do a recommendation series for after. Who know if there is a season 2, I'll review it, but I think these recommendations will continue to remain the same. And because of that, I'm not going to do much. So I have 6 recommendations for you guys before I move on to other videos. And yes, I'm wearing my headphones today because voiceover can really interrupt things, and I'd rather just, at least on my phone, Aylin can interrupt everything. So if Aylin has something to say, it will be on my headphones. So we're going to start with the first 2, which I have talked about endlessly in this channel, so I figured I should just lump these 2 together. And those are Fruits Basket and Ouran High School Host Club. So Ouran High School Host Club I have plenty of videos on, and I will link them below. Fruits Basket, not yet, but hopefully soon. I want to review the original, and I want to review the 3 seasons for the reboot, which was wonderful. Season 3 had me crying. The end of season 2 and the end season 3 had me emotional extremely. I want to watch these 2 again. So, Fruits Basket basically follows Toru Honda, who lives in a tent, and for specific reasons and due to specific circumstances, she ends up moving into the Soma house. And there, though, she finds out that the family is under a curse. So certain members of the family turn into the Chinese zodiac animals if hugged by the opposite sex. So she is allowed to keep the secret, but there are other things, going on in the family as well. Like, there are other mysteries. Ouran High School Host Club follows Haruhi Fujioka, who is looking for a quiet place to study. And she ends up finding an abandoned music room. And there she stumbles upon the Ouran Host Club, which is where the school's handsomest gentlemen with way too much time in their hands entertain young ladies who also have way too much time in their hands. Yeah, that's like the basic thing of the thing. But of the show itself. But she ends up accidentally breaking an 8 million yen an 8 million yen vase, which is about $76,000. And now she has to work as their errand boy in order to pay it off basically. But eventually she gets like her position is raised to as a host. But the club has a problem, and that is that at some point they discover that Haruhi Fujioka is actually a girl, and now they have to keep it secret from everybody not to find out. So yeah, it's interesting. Okay, the next anime I want to recommend is Kill la Kill. Kill la Kill reminds me of soap opera, but turned to anime. So basically we follow Ryuko, who basically shows up at Honoji Academy looking for the other half of a scissor blade that she has, in order to get revenge on the person that killed her father. But she also finds herself in a fighting against hierarchy in a way, and doing a lot of different things. It's a very interesting show with a lot of like fantastical yet complicated things that come up with the world. It's super cool. I want to review it. Four is Uzaki-chan Wants to Hang Out. This specifically, I love. It takes place in college. It's very interesting. So, Uzaki-chan Wants to Hang Out follows Uzaki Hana, who ends up bumping into an old high school classmate, I guess you can call him, and he, is living, he kind of just plays a bunch of video games, kind of lives like a solo lifestyle, and she wants him to kind of have fun. So she endlessly teases him, and they end up going on different points of, like, basically on different points of on different little adventures where she ends up teasing him, but it also grows their friendship. It's very interesting. Number 5 is A Silent Voice. Now, quick thing before I talk about A Silent Voice. If you choose to watch A Silent Voice after this plot is explained, please note that there is a trigger warning that I would want to give you about suicide. So there is a trigger warning on that, especially now that I'm going to explain the plot. Yeah, if you choose to watch it, know that suicide ideation is a thing in this movie, and there is also a lot of content warnings for bullying and mental health in general, I would say. So A Silent Voice is a movie. I think it came out in 2016, and I believe it's still on Netflix. I have not watched it after a while, but I watched it twice, and both times I watched it, I was crying. That's how you know it's a good movie. I don't cry often. I do not cry often. That's how I know it's a good movie, at least for me. Because I don't cry often, and that movie made me cry. So that is how I know it's a good movie. Anyway, basically, we follow Shoya. Yeah, Shoya. In the beginning, we follow Shoya, who basically goes into I think it's a bridge that he reaches, and he is contemplating suicide because he has gone through a lot of bullying after circumstances from his past where he bullied a girl who is deaf, and along with pretty much other people, but when it came to saving themselves, everybody else kind of blamed him for the bullying, and because of that, everybody kind of started bullying him in turn, and it continued through high school as well. It's to the point where he cannot look at people in the eye. So yeah. So he doesn't end up committing suicide. Instead, he decides to find the girl Shoko and make amends for his behavior. So it starts building up a pretty good friendship, but also facing some of their issues in their past, which, yeah, it's a very emotional 2-hour movie, I'm telling you. And my last and final recommendation for after Maidens in your SavageSeason is Assassination Classroom. I think I barely mentioned this one, but I love this anime, especially the ending. The ending is extremely emotional. Like, by the time you get to season 2, it's just emotional is everywhere. Okay, so Assassination Classroom follows this. So a creature ended up appearing and destroyed 70% of the moon, I think, from my understanding, right? And he basically, there is a possibility that he'll destroy the whole world. And so the government, so he ends up, but he gives them a year to basically figure out how to kill him in a way. And in exchange, what he's going to do is he threatens these government officials in order to become the homeroom teacher of Classroom 3E in this school, which I forgot the name of. But basically, this class 3E is a class of outcast students, and they are basically not along the rest of the campus population because they are not intelligent enough, or they didn't do something that, people, that was required of the school. So it's a pretty big cast of characters, but basically, yeah, he basically threatens these people to become their teacher, and basically becomes the best teacher Class 3E has ever had. And he mainly did it out of a promise he made someone. Now, Class 3E, however, is tasked to assassinate him with a reward that if they make it, they get a reward of 10 billion, I think, 10 billion yen, which is about $100 million. So he teaches them about assassination as well as regular class subjects. So it becomes, they end up naming him Koro Sensei, which means unkillable teacher, because at the moment every time any attempt that they try, it is basically thwarted. And it becomes difficult to kill him though, because he unwittingly becomes the best teacher they've ever had. He actually believes in his students. Koro Sensei is basically the teacher we all wish we always have. That's it. That's it. Anyway, those are the anime I am recommending. Let me know if you have any other anime you would recommend, school life related. I have heard of a few that I genuinely have not watched. So because of that, I will not recommend things like School Rumble or Haven't You Heard I'm Sakimoto, because they're both in school, but they're school-based anime, but I don't know what they're about, and I've genuinely never watched them. So I can't explain a plot. So, or things like Osmogadile. There are things I want to watch that are in school life, but I have not watched enough to recommend. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm out. Let me know in the comments what you think. I'll see you guys next Saturday for a review of A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. Yes, I'm returning to the Queen. I am returning to the Queen after like a couple of months / a year. I'm returning to the Queen with ACOTAR. I'll be starting to reviewing ACOTAR. So yeah, those are my thoughts. Subscribe if you're interested in more content. I post at least once a week, bonus videos if they come up. I'll see you guys soon, and yeah, until next week, consume stories, everybody. Bye.